Why do I look so smoky? I do not know what is going on. All right. Hello, everybody. How are you doing this beautiful month of August? Forgive my background. I'm not sure what's going on. Why I look a little fuzzy. Like, ooh, that was not the look I was going for. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Dr. Benton here. We're talking about the healing power of everyday food. And I see our guest behind the scene, Dr. Jarita. She's a repeat guest. She's like a repeat guest. So this is going to be awesome. We're going to be talking about the healing power of everyday foods, foods around you, foods that are accessible to you, foods we can use to help you live long and well. If you are watching live, hashtag live, you know the drill. I am watching live, obviously. So I'm going to put, where's my hashtag? Where's my hashtag? There it is. Hashtag live. If you're watching replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay. You can copy and paste if it's easier for you. Hashtag replay. All right, let me get our guest on. Please, we're going to be having answering questions live. So if you have questions, please definitely let us know. You could put a comment in the chat as we go along, and I'll be sure to answer your question. All right, let me bring my guest on. Bam, 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 bam. Hi, Doc. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Always good to see you.
Likewise.
All right, Dr. Jarita is an amazing woman. She is a family physician, right? Doctor,
Yes.
family physician. And I used to stalk her a little bit when used to cook live. And I'd be like, man, that looks so good. She has a love for cooking. She practiced, after residency, she practiced in post Hurricane Katrina. And she has a big love for cooking, gardening, and natural remedies. She's also the founder of Zion Family Practice LLC, and they offered in-person and telemedicine visits in Washington, D.C. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. area and in the neck of the woods in that area, please, you want to see her. She is amazing. I like her. I like her a lot. So whenever I see her, I hug her, and she's like, well, but yeah, I really like her. She's also an author. I didn't know that, Doc.
Oh,
Um, she's an author of 3 children's books: Maya and the Golden Chest, Mason and the Magic Cape, and Kid Astronaut Space Dreams. Wow. She has many books. She has many books, actually, just the kid books. But let me stop talking, Doc. Can you introduce yourself? Who are you? What you do? Why you do the things that you do, Doc?
my name is Dr. Jarita Hagans, and I love people and I love cooking, and I like to show people what they can eat and what they can cut back on to make themselves better.
That's all you got to say? You're amazing. All right, Doc. So, why do you do the things that you do? What made you get so well as a family physician? One, and then also using food as medicine, essentially. Why this interest?
So it really started when I got out of residency. I went to a clinic in New Orleans. It was called Common Ground. And the reason why I went there initially was for loan repayment. But it ended up being like a life change for me. They were really practicing medicine the way I think that medicine should be practiced. It wasn't just medicine. They had all kinds of things going on in the office. They had acupuncturists, they had herbalists, they had nutritionists on staff, they had a community garden that was part of the clinic, and they had a kitchen and cooking classes. And I was like, yeah, this is the way medicine is supposed to be practiced. Because I'd rather talk about what are we eating and drinking and can we change it rather than adding on another blood pressure pill or a cholesterol pill or what have you. Probably we can fix it and get these few points with what you eat.
I like that. You eat your way to better health. I like.
Right.
Okay, so Doc, my first question: when we say food is medicine, what does that mean to you? Because some people are probably look like, what do you mean food is med? How is that possible? What does that mean, Doc?
So there's the basics that everybody needs to do, like eating fresh fruits and vegetables and drinking water and trying to avoid things that are processed and boxed and in a bag, and trying to eat fresh or frozen foods. But then there are foods that I wouldn't say can treat a certain condition, but can make certain conditions better. Like eating blueberries and eating beets are things that can lower your blood pressure. Um, I had a patient today who is having acid reflux, and I had her on like a low dose acid reducing medicine. And she came back and said it wasn't better. And I said, well, we could go up on the medicine. She's like, no, I don't want to take any more medicine. I'm like, okay, what you could do for your acid reflux if you don't want to do any more medicine. We need to do some more tests and find out what's going on. But in the meantime, one thing you can do if you're not lactose intolerant is eat some Greek yogurt. That can kind of cool the burn that's going on in your esophagus and in your stomach. And also it has some probiotics in there that can kind of balance out your gut and the bacteria that's supposed to live there. Another thing that I told her to do was to drink alkaline water. There's some studies that show that drinking alkaline water with a pH of 8.5 or more turn off some of those enzymes in your esophagus that are causing the burning. So that's her natural option. She said absolutely no more medicine. She wants to get to the bottom of it, but she doesn't want to take more pills or a stronger pill.
Mm, mm. So using food to help with symptoms. So you talked about the acid reflux. I usually also use the noni fruit. Some of the plant supplements I use noni is very bitter, but it
Okay.
actually helps with acid reflux too. All right, doc, let's talk high cholesterol.
Okay.
Foods as medicine for high cholesterol. What would you say?
With that, I want you to do the standard fresh fruits and vegetables, but then you also are wanting to improve your good cholesterol. So your HDL cholesterol, that needs to be like 40 or 50 or more to protect you from strokes and heart attacks.
Hmm.
And one of the ways to improve that is exercise, but then you also are wanting to eat things with good oils in it, like cooking with olive oil, eating avocados, flaxseed, things like that that are going to have your omega 3s in there to balance out the high cholesterol.
Okay, what about salad dressings for that goes with the fruits and veggies now? What say you on that?
So the salad dressings that would be the healthiest is if you were able to make your own with some olive oil and vinegar and maybe some dried herbs, little bit of salt. I mean, you can never have salt, but not as much as we usually eat because you still need some fat in your system. It needs to be a healthy fat because you need fats to carry along those good vitamins, those fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K.
Okay. Doc, you said make your own dressing. I think you lost some folks. Like, what do you mean make your own dressing? Sounds like a lot of work. And you're a busy professional. So talk to me about like how easy is it to mix together so I can make it, we can make it like we're like, what? Make your own dressing? That sounds like work.
Yeah, it's not that hard. So you need basically like 1/4 cup of vinegar to like 3 cups of olive oil and shake that up and put whatever spices you're gonna put in there, and then that's your dressing.
And you don't have to cook it,
Or
you don't have to broil it, you don't have to saute, you just that's it.
right, or you can get some avocados um and mix that with whatever, something creamy. You could do like a plant milk, like a almond milk or oat milk, um, and like a ranch dressing seasoning,
Okay.
and
Okay.
blend it up, and lime juice, garlic.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you have like a creamy avocado dressing.
All right, so you can make it easy to make. You put things together, and there
Mhm.
you go. So many, so they're easy options to eating healthier.
Right.
So we talked acid reflux. We talked um, high cholesterol. Can we talk blood pressure? You mentioned two. Um,
Sure.
what are other foods that tend to help lower blood pressure?
The fresh fruits and vegetables are gonna kind of act like one of the ways that it works is by kind of working like a diuretic and pushing the extra salt and water out of your body. Yeah.
So you see, you can't go wrong with fruits and vegetables. I didn't say
Right.
that. Say that. So for everything, the fruits and vegetables. Um, Doc, what are your takes on bouillon seasoning? Because I had a lot of people say I don't eat salt. but I season with the Maggi or the adobo or the. I use it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie because it's a flavor.
Yeah. Now I love a salty taste myself, but I have to be careful with the kind of seasonings that I'm using because I have high blood pressure. So you can use some, but maybe not the whole cube. And then the other thing that I'm looking for, if I'm looking for like a chicken flavor, is like low sodium chicken broth
That
or something else that I use to kind of add a salt flavor that doesn't have as much salt as other things is liquid aminos. It's kind of like a natural soy sauce. It has a soy sauce flavor. It tastes great, but it has a lot less sodium than regular soy sauce, and it's made by the people that make the Bragg's apple cider vinegar.
mm,
So
mm,
Bragg's liquid aminos. That tastes great. That kind of punches up the flavor of anything. And then sometimes let's say that I've seasoned the thing and I've cooked it and I feel like it still needs more salt, but I don't want to get crazy with the salt.
mm.
Um, some sort of citrus fruit, lime juice, lemon juice can kind of punch up the flavor and give you that extra tang that your taste buds are wanting.
Yeah, and also found that when you're cooking, if you add the salt a lot later when you're cooking, you don't have to
Mhm.
put as much, right?
Right.
And like Dr. Jarita said, a lot of seasoning. So there are other flavors that you could use to, make your taste buds dance without you having to compromise and use so much salt that could affect blood pressure. All right, Doc. So my next question is, what are a few signs that someone's daily food choices, for someone who's watching, who's like, well, I'm fine, I don't think I have any problems, but are there signs that someone's daily food choices may be harming their health long term?
Um, Sometimes you can kind of have a feeling that the that what you ate wasn't too good for you. Like if I have too much salt, my feet can kind of feel puffy. They might not look swollen, but they kind of feel puffy, and I can kind of feel that I've had too much salt. Headaches, dizziness, palpitations, some of those things can happen. And then you want to see your doctor and find out what your numbers are. Know your cholesterol, know your blood pressure, know your blood sugar. I was talking to one of my diabetic patients today, and his HbA1c had been pretty good, and then it went up all of a sudden on this last labs. But the HbA1c is like the 3 month diabetes number. It tells us your average of your blood sugars over the last 3 months. So that was high. But then his blood sugar on that day was fine. It was 89. So I was like, it's something that you're eating. Because when you were fasting, the blood sugar was fine. But then when you're eating whatever it is 200 and something. Let's talk about it. So it's like, tell me what a day of eating is like for you. What did you eat yesterday? He's like, oh, he made a stir fry with some beef and some mixed vegetables. And I was like, so the rice, how much rice is it? Because we like to fill up our plate with rice. And I'm like, I'm not
Mhm.
saying don't eat any rice, but take the rice down to a handful and increase the vegetables. Like try to fill half your plate with vegetables and decrease the amount of rice that you're having so
Okay.
that you can have less effect on your blood sugar. People don't like me to take their rights away from them, so I'm just trying to get decrease the amount.
Oh, I share the same struggle, and I so that leads to my next question for someone who's like, Doc, I eat out a lot. It's convenient. I understand making the salad dressing and doing the things, but it's just easy for me. I have to go, 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 so I just order food and eat. Are there ways to eat healthier even while eating out? Like, what is your like quick trick? Like if I'm going to make a plate, I go to let's say Texas Roadhouse. They have the cinnamon bread with the cinnamon butter with the roll. They bring you every time before you get the food. So what would help us, Doc? Help us.
So I'm a little bit different. I'm not a big bread person. Like I don't have to have bread. I'll just eat bread if I'm waiting for my actual food to come. But I don't have to have a roll. But my mother is different. She has to have bread like with every meal. But I would say definitely order a salad and eat your vegetables first. And then when your food comes, most of the time we go to a restaurant, they're giving you a huge portion, something that
Mhm.
you could eat 2, 3 times. So ask for your container, your takeout container first, and just kind of cut it in half and put it away, and so that you could kind of have that for lunch tomorrow and just have a smaller portion in your salad and maybe one roll.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
Have your to-go plate at the start of the meal. That is brilliant. Yeah, not after. That is brilliant. That's a big one. That's a big one. I also generally tell people, Dr. Jarita, like go for protein. Look for your protein.
Right.
Beans. Beans are friendly. Your chicken, your fish, your fruits and vegetables. Don't go for the carbs first. You gotta calm,
Right.
Um, but doc, my next question is because some people are like, okay, I'm not sure people really understand that you can actually improve your health by changing how you eat. So can you tell us stories of people who, or your success stories, people who have actually reversed or managed many common conditions like high blood pressure or fatigue just by eating differently?
Sure. So I could tell you about myself. So when I was working at the clinic in New Orleans, I used to have a horrible acid reflux and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I ended up sitting down and talking to the herbalist. And it wasn't necessarily that I was eating anything bad, but just my gut flora was off. So they had me do an elimination diet to basically hold all of the things that would feed the bad bacteria: white bread, white potatoes, white rice, white pasta, and hold that for 2 weeks to kind of starve the bad bacteria. And then
Mm,
they had me eating foods that were probiotics, Greek yogurt, sauerkraut, refrigerated pickles, olives, to put the good bacteria back in my system. And it basically cured me. Um, so now I can kind of eat whatever I want for a certain amount of days, but I have to be careful with acidic stuff sometimes. But they shifted me in that way. And then I recently had a patient who was hospitalized. Matter of fact, he was in the ICU
wow.
with a blood sugar that was over 600. And when he came out, he was ready to make some changes and he stopped drinking sodas. Sodas are the other thing. And people hate for me to say that they can't have their Cokes and Pepsis and whatever. Um, if you're diabetic, your body just can't handle that much sugar. If
Okay.
you want to have a soda every now and then, maybe a teeny tiny amount for a treat. And I'm talking about like a few times a year if you're diabetic. But he made those changes. He stopped drinking sodas, and now his blood sugar is perfect. He's walking after every meal because he realized with checking his blood sugars, he has a continuous glucose monitor in his arm, and he realized that walking right after his meals would
Yep.
lower his blood sugar. And he's doing fantastic. He's a model patient.
I love that. I love it. I love the continuous glucose monitor because you can see in real time what
Right.
your actions and what you're doing are changing, or how they're changing that. Now, for someone who's watching, who's like, well, I'm not just taking the soda for, um, the taste. I'm using it for energy. Are there foods that you recommend that can help with energy, doc?
Um, Let me think about that. Because the energy, I'm concerned about if you have a vitamin deficiency, if you're
Mhm.
tired all the time, what's
Mhm.
going on with your vitamin D, your iron, your vitamin B12. And a lot of times when I'm checking the people's vitamin D is in the toilet. It's almost nothing there.
Mhm.
So I want to find out what's going on there with the energy. I can't say that I've found a real natural supplement to boost your energy, but that's what I'm focusing on when people tell me that they're tired and they're drinking the sodas for energy. Like, well, what's wrong?
What's
How
making
much sleep are you getting at night? And what's going on with your vitamin intake.
Okay, that's fair. What is your take on coffee? I have a lot of coffee drinkers. They're like that's their thing in the morning. They put things, little frappuccino, whoppuccino, whoop thing in there. Like, do you have any healthy tips on how to drink coffee well?
So I think you can drink coffee, but you want to be careful about those additives. And not always having the double, triple mocha. Because see, I'm not a coffee drinker either. If you see me
Not
drinking
either.
coffee, I'm super, super tired, but I don't actually like the taste of coffee. So if I get coffee, I kind of wanted to have some flavor in, and it's got all the cream and the sugar and whatever. Again, I'm looking at that the same way that I'm looking at soda, that you can have all of this whipped cream, foam, sugar, syrup, and stuff like every once in a while for a treat. But you really should kind of have like a toned down coffee and have like the dairy free flavorings, the hazelnut,
Mhm.
whatever, and maybe a small amount of sugar or something natural like a stevia.
I agree. One of the things I find is that people drink their calories and wonder why sometimes they're picking up
Right,
weight or they feel a little sluggish throughout the day. And so I'm asking, what are you drinking? Sometimes
right,
we drink our foods. One of the things I've told, like the oat milk, because coffee drowns out whatever you put in. I don't drink coffee either. I don't like the smell or the taste. So no bashing on the coffee lovers. Good for you. But oat milk instead of using creamers, stevia.
right.
I even have people putting chia seeds in it. The supplement company. I'll put the link in here as well. Mila, microcut chia seeds, put it in there to also help them with bowel movements and lowering their cholesterol. So there's so many ways you can enjoy the things, but enjoy it in a way that is better for your health and not detrimental. Um,
Right.
Now, Doc, my next question to you, don't worry, I'll put the link in here too. The next question is if someone can only afford small changes, because it's like you're trying to mess with their food right now, you're changing their whole, rare. But they're like, let me make one small change. What would you say are the most important foods to add and then to avoid right now?
um, if I'm talking to a patient and they're feeling overwhelmed, then I try to pare it down and just keep it simple so that they're not making too many changes at once. So I'm asking them, basically, I talked to a lady the other day. She was just kind of really overwhelmed. We talked about all the things, and I was like, okay, let's not do everything right now. Do one thing for me. Just have a green vegetable with every meal. And you can have green vegetables at breakfast. It's nothing wrong with it. It's not something that I thought about until I worked at this clinic where they had the nutritionist and the herbalist and everything. But they kind of introduced the idea to me of having vegetables at breakfast. So now almost all the time, if I'm having eggs or grits or whatever, I'm putting some spinach and peppers and onions and mushrooms in it. Yeah.
Yes, you're nicer. I say fruit, vegetable with every meal,
Yeah.
every every. And the truth is, we want to enjoy a good quality of life. We all, you work so hard. You want to feel better. These things are doable. Little steps. So adding so creatively, even when you go shopping, or when you go eating out on the menu, I'm sure there's a vegetable somewhere. If
Right.
a fresh vegetable, not French fries, a fresh vegetable.
That's why I say green vegetables, because then
Fresh.
people try to sneak in corn and other stuff that acts like a potato.
Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, Doc. One more question. Are they do you have any final word of encouragement to someone who wants to eat better? I know I asked the question, you talked about someone who feels overwhelmed, but they really want to eat better. They've tried many times and haven't quite made the progress they want to make. Any words of encouragement to that person who's watching right now?
You can do it, and then I think one of the best ways to make those changes is to make the change at the grocery store and try not to bring the things into the house that are tempting to you. I still drink soda sometimes. I still eat candy sometimes, but I don't bring it into the house. I'll have to go get some soda if I'm gonna have some soda. Like I'll have to be at a restaurant because I don't have any in my house. I'll have to go get some candy if I want some because I don't have any candy in my house, and I'm lazy, so I don't go get it. And then when I get ice cream, I just get like the pint ice cream. I don't get a big container. So once that pint is done, that's it.
I
So
like
try to work on making those changes so that the temptation isn't in the house with you.
I like the changes at the grocery store. They'll make it easier for you. I agree. I tell you a funny story. So you know the Hawaiian rolls?
Yes.
Yeah. So one day my husband had bought like maybe 2 packs of them, and it was in his work fridge. Like he has a little fridge. He puts his stuff because he's and I saw it. And I ate 1.5, like not the small one, the mega pack, the 12 pack. And he came out, he's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm not a rock. I love Hawaiian roll. I don't buy it because I tend to, overindulge if I'm exposed to it." But he was shocked. He's like, "Babe, you talk so much about eating healthy." I say, "Yeah, but I'm not a rock. I like
Right.
stuff. So I said that's why I don't buy it, because if I buy it, same thing with ice cream. I love Bluebell ice cream, but I get a little cup. I have a small spoon dedicated. I'll play worship. So it's a whole spirit, soul, body experience for me. I'm worshiping the Lord, like, thank you, Jesus, for the privilege to eat. I have my chia seed, I have my raspberry in it. And I'm like, oh, so it's drawn out, but it's rare. So what you said was very powerful. Make the changes at the grocery store. It helps you, your surroundings, your environment helps you stay aligned. So start with the grocery store. So this is awesome. But Doc, as we wrap up, because we got what, 4 minutes, people are like, "Man, she's amazing. I like how you keep it real, Dr. Jarice. Like I drink, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy the things, but I don't bring it in my house." How can people find you? Where can people find you to connect with you, reach out to you, have you come speak on their platform, or see you as a physician, Doc?
Okay, so if people want to see me as a physician, they can go to zionfamilypractice.com and fill out the contact page, and we'll get that email and we'll call you. And then if you want to reach me on social media, I'm at Dr. Jarita, and Doctor is spelled out Doctor Jarita, Jarita, at Dr. Jarita on all the platforms.
Awesome. So I put it in here. She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook. She's on LinkedIn as well. Doc, sorry, I was trying to type the website. What's the website again? Zion
Oh, sorry, Zion, Zion, familypractice.com.
practice.com. All right. So I put it in the notes as well. For those of you watching, follow her. She cooks really good, and I can smell it through the website.
Listen, I was almost late because I was cooking something. I was like, oh, it's 7:30.
Oh my God. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's almost like I can smell it as you're cooking. I'm like, man, that looks so good. All right. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming. I appreciate you. As always, I will have you come back. I know how to get you to come back. So
Okay.
thank you so much for taking your time to share with us this evening and making it practical and relatable. So big shout out to you, Doc.
Thank you so much for inviting me. You're my hero.
Thank you, sis. And for those of you watching, I appreciate you. The likes, the hearts. Let's see. Chichi Wabara Ulox, thank you for joining. Berna, good to see you. Dr. Janice, Dr. Amanda Atkins, great. Thank you so much for joining. As always, caring is sharing. Make sure you share, tag a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, if you or anyone you know is looking for an awesome, a thorough, and caring family physician that will have conversations like this to help you live long and well in the Mastery, Texas area, I am she. Have a good one, everyone. God bless. Doc, thank you so much. You rock big